Hello there, everyone. My name's The Knight, and welcome back to another movie review for 2024. Today, we'll be talking about the Garfield movie. Now, over the weekend, I went to go see the Garfield movie, and I have to say, it took me a bit by surprise. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, admittedly. Some of the pros for this movie were the animation, the way the movie was managed, the acting, and the comedy and overall message. The animation was definitely a highlight of this movie. It managed to be both fun and creative while sticking close to the original comics art style, which is something I appreciate considering the fact that it is not an original work and is based off of Jim Davis's comic run of Garfield. On top of the animation, the movie manages to give us a unique heist story that did not make it feel like it was just a heist movie with Garfield. They managed to have both Garfield's characters fit into this story so it didn't feel like it was out of place. The acting was also well done. Admittedly, you can tell that Chris Pratt and Samuel L. Jackson are playing the characters in the movie. However, they did play them well. It was not one of those movies where it felt like Chris Pratt was playing Chris Pratt or Samuel L. Jackson was playing Samuel L. Jackson. They played their respective characters well to the point in which it made the movie go smoothly. The comedy and the message of this movie is also family friendly. It did not feel like it was just another kids movie. Admittedly, there was stuff in there that you could definitely tell were just directed towards kids, but there was also stuff in there that was directed towards adults, directed for both groups, and directed towards long-standing fans. For instance, the beginning of the movie has a whole nostalgic trip for all comic book fans of Garfield that the directors and scriptwriters used to be the ground point for Garfield's character and the world building, which I thought was very clever. Now, granted, there are some cons for this movie. The main one, for me anyways, was John's character. And that is that John is barely in the movie. As one of the main cast members of the comics, I was sad to see him barely make an appearance. Granted, I understand for this particular heist movie and the direction they were going, why he wouldn't exactly fit the role, but still it was sad to see that he was not in it as much as Garfield and Odie. Another slight issue I had is that at times it didn't feel like they knew where they were going with his character in the movie. For instance, there were plenty of moments throughout this movie where he felt like a relatable character, and other moments where he just felt like kind of a dumb idiot. It wasn't as though they strayed away from his character from the comic. It just didn't feel like he had enough screen time to fully flesh out his part in the story. Like, he was there and he was prevalent, but he also wasn't. Slight spoiler, I'm sorry. The other major downgrade for this movie was Nermal. But Nermal does make a brief appearance. He's part of that whole nostalgic thing I was talking about, and oh my word, do I hate that cat. I'm sorry for anyone out there who is a Nermal fan. I remember reading the comics when I was little, and I just hated Nermal. I absolutely hated him in both the comics and the TV show. So when he did make an appearance, I did roll my eyes, because oh my word, I did not want to see him. But with that out of the way, I do want to address something about this movie. When it was announced, I know there were a lot of memes going around about Chris Pratt playing Garfield and how it could be a positive or negative thing for the movie. The same thing, for example, happened when it was announced that he was playing Mario. However, I would recommend that you don't let that be a main factor for going to see this movie, because you can definitely tell that he is playing Garfield. But he plays it in a way that is respectful for the character and also has a bit of a creative twist. He did not do a bad job and actually was a pretty big highlight of the movie. I also know that films nowadays like this may feel like they may be a cash grab, as it is part of a franchise that is well known, has a well-established fan base, and an easy way to gain money by having fans come to the theaters. However, this movie was not a cash grab. You could definitely tell throughout this movie that the directors and writers made it fun, had it be well animated, had to be family friendly, and full of nostalgic moments that give credit to Jim Davis's work. It was not a letdown. It was not a flop. The critics on Rotten Tomatoes say it was. I would say don't listen to them because they gave it a 36%, which sounds bad. Focus on the audience, okay? Because the audience for Rotten Tomatoes on that one, they gave it an 86 last time I checked. And I mostly agree. Personally, I actually gave it a 9 out of 10 because it was fun to watch. It was enjoyable. And it is a movie that I highly recommend you go see and go support. Now, before I go, there is one little side note I want to add to this that I thought was pretty fun. It is not a spoiler in any means at all, but the credits were actually very fun to watch. And the reason being is because they were unique. There are certain cast members in this movie that are given their own unique songs at the end in the credits. So if you watch the credits and you listen to the songs and the little illustrations they have on there, it's actually very fun to watch because there are songs that are either written for the movie or chosen specifically for those characters. It was fun to see it play out. Also, there is a fun little post-credit scene at the end, so you might want to stick around. That all being said, I hope you guys go support this movie because I really liked it. And if you do go support it, I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you all have a blessed day. May God bless you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.
Thank you.